50 years ago tonight, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his famous and final speech. It was a stirring cry for justice, and for Dr. King, prophetic.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Now, the next day, the world mourned his assassination outside the Lorraine Hotel in Memphis, and that's where Rebecca Lopez is live tonight. She joins us now with more. Rebecca?
Well, this is where Dr. King was staying, the Lorraine Motel, which is now the National Civil Rights Museum. He was staying in that room behind me, room 306, and he had given that prophetic speech, "I've been to the mountaintop." Less than 24 hours later, he was assassinated while standing on that balcony just outside the room. Dr. King had traveled the country fighting for civil rights. He made several trips to North Texas, including a speech at SMU. Damon Fernandez reports.
God loves all of his children.
It was a moment at Southern Methodist University.
And that all men are made in his image.
I came down here from a little town in Wisconsin.
And a memory Reverend Charles Cox will never forget of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
It was just a great honor to be the one student that got to stand up and introduce him to our university.
Cox was a 20-year-old junior on SMU's campus back in 1966 and part of the student senate that invited Dr. King here to speak at McFarland Auditorium.
He had been previously invited, and the invitation had been withdrawn because of concerns for security and also concerns about perhaps the right-wing element in this city.
Dallas was a city that didn't always welcome Dr. King with open arms. Historians say many believe the activist's message was too radical. Reverend Cox says SMU administrators supported the students' desire to have Dr. King on campus.
He was known as one of the greatest speakers of the world, for one thing. The whole effort to integrate America was really at its height then, almost, in terms of the civil rights demonstrations and the movement itself. And we wanted to have the person who was the leader of that.
Cox and fellow student Bert Moore picked up Dr. King from Dallas Love Field and drove him to campus. Cox says people packed McFarland Auditorium for King's speech.
There were no empty seats that I could see.
That's Reverend Cox sitting behind Dr. King. He remembers being a bit nervous as he introduced the special guest.
There was just a great sense of anticipation and excitement because this man was in the headlines every day across America. This was the movement that was transforming our country along with others.
Reverend Cox says King's message and work had an impact on the ministry he led for nearly 35 years. Now retired, he joins people across the country recognizing the 50th anniversary of Dr. King's assassination.
He was very gracious.
Reverend Cox believes Dr. King's message about social justice is still relevant today.
Because this will not end anytime soon. There are going to be victimized groups and prejudice of all kinds and types taking place in human societies. And his desire to bring compassion and truth and a sense of togetherness to the human community lives on today.
Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Thank you.
Damon Fernandez, Channel 8 News.
Tomorrow at 6:01 p.m. when Dr. King was shot, they are going to toll a bell here at the Lorraine Motel to commemorate the moment. Some of his loved ones are expected to speak tomorrow, as well as the last two surviving members who were with him here at the motel, the Reverend Jesse Jackson and Ambassador Andrew Young. We also expect civil rights leaders from Dallas to be here. We're going to bring you all of the events on WFAA and on social media. Reporting live in Memphis, Rebecca Lopez, Channel 8 News.